If you use an iPhone, I'm here to tell you to stop using the default native camera app, right? Because for whatever reason, I'm not sure about other versions. I'm using an iPhone 13. I'm using an iPhone 13 Pro, and since the very beginning-ish that I started using it, I noticed this issue where if I frame, if I use the default camera app, and then the lighting is a bit bad, or I try to use, and then I specifically use like the telephoto lens. A lot of times I like the telephoto lens. That's why I got the 13 Pro, right? You get it for the extra lens, right? So I noticed that it kind of switches around. So now I use this lens, this small rig phone case, and then previously I had a different adapter here for the lenses. So by the way, I use this lenses, so ND filter and a black mist filter from small rig as well to use together with this here. And because the previous adapter that I used covered the lens a little, then when I want to switch over, I found it that if I cover the lens, they will switch over to another lens. So how you can see if it happens for you, I looked this up online also. So for example, I'm using the 1X. I'm going to change to telephoto, and then I take a photo. Let's go back to this photo and then check this. You can see that this is telephoto camera 77mm, right? 2.8f. Let's take another photo. Now I'm going to go closer. You can see that there's some weird thing that happens, right? You can see this. Do you see this like change? Not sure if you noticed this. Let me try again. There you go. You saw that? I was like, that is iffy, man. That is strange. So I'm coming close. Take a photo again. Let's come back to the photo. Look at, you see this wide camera, 26mm 1.5f. Why is it so? This is supposed to be taken with the 3x. I'm here. I'm on the 3x. So I really don't get it, man. See, even on the 1x, it changes to the wide angle and then digitally zoom, right? I think it's pretty obvious. It digitally zooms. So this is shot on the 13mm, the wide angle. This is on the wide angle. Now this is on ultra wide, this is on the wide, but this is supposed to be on the telephoto lens. So things are just weird until now. Nobody really talks about it. I found it in online blog articles, forums, things like that, but it's not a huge enough issue, right? There's also this thing where you go to your camera settings, and then I just recently did, which is to turn off the macro control. I'm not sure if it actually helps, but I think it does. So my next tip is to use a dedicated app for photo taking and video taking. So I use this Pro Cam, this one. This is the one I use. Of course, it costs money. I'm pretty sure it costs money. I think I paid for it many years ago. And this is the one I use. It is not 100% perfect, obviously. Everything has their issues. You can buy another app. You don't have to use this one. I'm just saying this is the one I use. Since I bought it already, I'm just going to stick to it. You can buy, I think I saw other recommendations like this, I think this Halidi Mark II. A lot of these are paid because these are good apps to use. You can adjust the shutter speed here. Let me go back to 1x. Yeah, you can adjust the shutter speed, ISO, the autofocus, the white balance. You can get raw image, TIFF files. You can use this for video as well. You can lock your exposure and this one here. Okay, you can choose your formats. You can do a time lapse. It is like whatever you can do with your default camera. Is upgraded to what you can do on what's it, pro camera, those whatever Micro Four Thirds, mirrorless camera, those kind of cameras. Of course, there are some limitations. For example, time lapse is cropped in already as it's like taking a video, so that's a bit strange. So you need to take it in a wide angle. You can control all your frame rates here and resolutions for videos and photos. Even for video, you can control your shutter speed, your ISO, and all the stuff like that. There's another app that I like to use, which is Blackmagic camera here, this one. Let's update the app anyway. So this is a really good app from Blackmagic. The only problem that I found is I cannot shoot above 30 frames. I cannot shoot high frame rates. I don't know why. Let's open it. Maybe you can now. Let's see. Where is this? Frame rate, frames per second. Yep. For some reason, I'm stuck at 30 frames per second. Maybe I need to change. If I want to shoot 60 frames, I can't do it for some reason. Maybe someone knows, I can tell me. Yeah. So the good thing is that you can select your shutter angle. So shutter angle, for those who are not familiar, it controls the motion blur of your video. So you don't think about this when you take photos, but depending on the frame rate that you shoot, for example, 30 frames per second, and then the shutter speed that you should be double, which is following a 180-degree shutter rule. But that's like the usual and standard motion blur that you get to see. So if you look at my hand, you can see this is there's like a blurriness when I move around. So that's like motion blur, right? Let me see if I can. So right now, I just doubled. No, for quadrupled. I just quadrupled my shutter speed on my DJI Osmos. Do you see like a difference? I'm not sure if it's like a significant enough difference you can see. When I wave my hand, it's a lot sharper. And then now I just change it back to double of my frame rate. So you can see that when I wave my hand, there's a little bit of blurriness more than previously when I changed it. So the good thing about apps like this is like you can, for example, this Blackmagic camera app, you can look at this the scopes where you can see the levels, you can see the audio levels as well. There's a lot of these things that as someone who shoot video, it's very useful. So at the end of the day, what I want to say is if you're using the iPhone, check if you have these issues with your camera where it changes the lens. And if you are interested in video and taking photos, don't use the default native camera app. Go and get something a little bit more professional. You can pay for it one time. The Pro camera app is what I use. You can use, there's a lot of other options out there. I think there's also Moment camera. Actually, I haven't used it. It's also paid, so I haven't used it. Yeah, but in terms of photo and video, it's really useful to use some of these apps that give you a lot more control.